What's going on, SixPackAbs.com? It's Thomas Delauer, and today I'm giving you a barbell shoulder workout. This isn't going to be some typical bodybuilder style workout. This is a workout that utilizes a barbell, but allows us to work through an entire different range of motion than you're used to working, and also allows you to isolate different parts of your shoulders so that you can get the kind of shoulders that you want. Because at the end of the day, it's all about an illusion, okay? Whether you're training functionally or whether you're training for aesthetics. If you look the part, then you're gonna feel the part. And if your shoulders are bigger, it's gonna make your waist feel and look a little bit smaller. So it's all about illusions. It's all smoke and mirrors in a lot of ways. So if we can train the shoulders right, but also be cognizant of the kind of training that we need to do to make sure they're safe and structurally sound, we'll have nice, good, rounded out shoulders that give us a nice little taper for the rest of our lives. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you check out my science-based six-pack intermittent fasting program down below in the description, which also has my time under tension protocols in it, specific styles of training that can help you get the results that you want utilizing science as the backbone. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do, first off, we're gonna get a little bit warmed up. I'm gonna start with just a regular shoulder press. I prefer to do these standing. So a lot of times people will want to do barbell presses in a military press fashion. And what that means is they'll want to be sitting down. And when you're sitting down, you're taking the load off of the shoulders and putting it in different areas of your body. And the tendency to lean back and use your chest is a lot higher. So if we stand up, bend the knees a little bit, and just do a traditional military press, and only come down to the chin. And you want to do is you want to come down to the chin, and you want to push sort of behind your head in that kind of motion. So when you're at the top of the motion, you should be just directly above the back of your head. So again, don't come all the way down here. That's how you hurt your rotator cuff. Come down to the chin, not here, okay? So chin, press it up. And again, it's okay if you get a little bit of a hopping motion with it, as long as you're not going overboard. A little bit of a hop is gonna allow you to get it to the top so you get that full stretch that you want and you get that full contraction that you want. Okay, next up, you're gonna grab a kettlebell, but then you're gonna go straight into a sitting down position. So lay down nice and low, legs straight out in front of you, and now I'm doing, this is an optional movement. The reason I'm doing this is more so for activation. You could do this with another barbell, but for the sake of the video, I'm using a kettlebell. So I know they said this is a barbell video, so the other thing that you could do is take a barbell that's nice and light, sit down, and press it out this way. But I'm gonna use a kettlebell. By sitting down in this way, with my legs straight and my hamstrings totally extended like this, I'm in a position where I have practically no ability to use anything else except for my shoulder and my core. Push it out, hit the other side. Notice how I'm not even worried about counting reps in this case. I'm just trying to keep the tension on it as much as I can. It's good there. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna take this barbell off again. Set it down. I'm gonna do a really wide grip row. So the reason I wanna do a wide grip row is because most people think it's gonna be all back. But the wider that you grip, you're gonna hit that posterior chain, that posterior part of your deltoid there. It's gonna give it that nice rounded look that we're after. So start like you're gonna do a bent over row, but hold nice and wide. Okay, and then all we're doing is we're coming up and we're trying to touch our sternum with the bar. Keep the elbows flared out like this. Touch the bar to the sternum. Keep the butt tucked back so that you're not rounding. So you do as many of those as you can, following that nice, slow time under tension methodology. Not schlepping it around and not heaving it. Okay, now that we still have the barbell going, go ahead and pick this up with a short amount of rest. You're gonna go right into upright rows. So that, you wanna hold your grip a little bit wider. Most people tell you to do an upright row with your grip super narrow. I want you to see the difference between how my shoulders activate here. Shoulder activation with it narrow, okay, versus wide. Way more of the delts. So instead of using the traps and the forearms, I'm all deltoids. You're not gonna be as strong because you're not gonna have the extra fulcrum of your elbow so much. You're gonna be a lot more in the shoulders. Most people worry about the range of motion and the height on this. I think it's more about the taxation on the shoulders. Again, just push it to failure all the way there. Then you're gonna go ahead and rest. We're gonna recover. We're gonna do the same thing, except now, when I go through the rotation, on my next overhead press, I am gonna go a little bit heavy. And the reason I'm gonna do that, if I can catch my breath, is simply because I want to do a level of pre-exhaustion, but the opposite of the way most people talk about pre-exhaustion. So most people wanna pre-exhaust with a lighter weight and then go ahead and go to a moderately heavy weight, so it's activated. And that makes perfect sense, but in this case, I wanna go with a maximum lift, and then I wanna go over to a drop set where I get a chance to polish off other areas of the shoulder that I didn't hit with the max lift. Because with a max lift or a heavier lift, you're incorporating a lot of these other muscles. You're incorporating stabilizing muscles that really play a big role in just getting the weight up in the first place. And that's okay. And we wanna get the nervous system adapted to that. But we also wanna be able to hit the lighter weights and actually polish off what we're after. So in this case, I'm going right back to the overhead presses, except I'm doing it with a heavy weight and I'm only gonna do 3 or 4 reps with. So, two, 3, 4. Okay, now when I still have this barbell, now I can do my drop set. And press it again. But on my drop set, I'm gonna go down to the top of my head and just polish it off. So literally not even coming to the chin. So on a drop set, focusing on just that top portion, really trying to activate the shoulder. So no chest involvement, like if I were to come down here. It's the biggest problem people make when they're military pressing. They roll back and they bring in their chest. Our whole goal here, activate the shoulders, keep the shoulders safe. That's rule number 1. And we also want to make sure that we're actually targeting the muscle we're after. So then we go through the rotation again. In this case, I'm going to show you the seated positioning that I was in before with the kettlebell, but with a barbell. And just to show you, I'm just going to do a bar. You don't even need much weight. This also makes it a little bit easier for when you're sitting down. You can use one of those, the fixed barbells, the barbells that already have plates on them. You don't want to get that. All right. So now that I'm in the seated position again, with my hamstrings completely stretched out, legs out in front of me. Now I do my press, still just coming down to the nose or chin area. But since my legs are outstretched, and I don't have a back support, it is all about those shoulders. I can't feel it anywhere else but a tiny bit in my lower abs and my serratus muscles, and of course my shoulders. I'm pumping it out. And honestly, go through that rotation 3 or 4 times. Just make sure the first time you go through, you're going nice and light so you're not gonna burn yourself out completely, and then increase the weight as you go. So notice how my first set, I didn't start off with 135 on my shoulder press. I started off with a lighter weight. If you use these kind of bars over here, it might make life easier for you guys if you're just starting out. This way you can work up the rack and do what you need to do. The goal is to get as comfortable with the barbell as you can. Okay, the barbell is really an amazing thing. You'll start to find that with the barbell, you can do so many other movements that you normally didn't think you could use a barbell with. So I'll do more of these barbell type videos that show you a little bit more about how to incorporate it so you can get that well-rounded physique that actually looks functional and looks more like a Spartan versus a typical modern day bodybuilder. So I know I'm out of breath. That's because just those few sets are tough. Trust me, if you follow the protocol and you burn out your shoulders the way that you should, you're gonna be huffing and puffing too. So as always, keep it locked in here on SixPackAbs.com. See you in the next video.